Thursday's supposed to be my easy day. But today was not easy. I knew it was going to be a weird day because as soon as I get here at 11, I barely clocked in, and all of a sudden my coworker goes, "Hey, that one guy is here that we kicked out that one day, and he wants to apologize." I was like, "Oh, for real? Okay, yeah, sure." I'm willing to make amends if he's willing to put in the effort. So he came in, and, I held out my hand for him to shake it. I was like, "Hey, no hard feelings, man." And he's like, "I'm really sorry. I was really faded that night, and I was out of line, and I'm really sorry." And I was like, "I appreciate you for apologizing. It takes a big person to, own up to their mistakes and apologize." And I'm like, "I forgive you. Everything's okay. You can come back again." And I just let him know, I'm like, "I just need to see your ID next time, just carry it with you. It's not that hard." Because he has one. It's not like he doesn't have one. He just doesn't feel like carrying it around. Which, when you're barely 21, you should just be used to having it. I'm used to having it. I'm in my 30s. Anyway, so everything's chill with that guy now. Since he apologized, we're back to square one. I'm always willing to give second chances. You know what I mean? And he's young enough that I feel like it's important for him to learn this and not go and be shitty in the future. Like, now he knows. He should already know, but when you're young and drunk, you make stupid mistakes sometimes. So I'm willing to forgive and forget. End of story there. Then, like around 1 o'clock in the morning, this old guy shuffles in. He looks about 65-ish years old, and he's got this huge bandage around his head with a bunch of gauze right in the back here. And so I was just like kind of looking like, what the heck happened to this guy? It looks like a fresh bandage. And as I'm watching him, I also realize I recognize him. I've never seen him in person. That's why it took me a minute to recognize him, but I saw him from the pictures sent around in the group text about shoplifters. Because my manager sends pictures of known shoplifters, like people who have been in the store and stolen stuff in the past. Like, "Hey, watch out for this person. If he comes in on your shift, don't let him in the store." Well, he was already in the store, and he had already grabbed a bunch of stuff. And so I'm like, "Oh, I better keep an eye out." And I move away from the counter and start walking towards him. And I see him, he's putting beer in his pocket. And I'm like, "Hey, can you take that out of your pocket, please?" And he turns around and just like stares blankly at me. And I'm like, "Sir, I need you to take the beer out of your pocket." And he just goes, "No, I just have this." He holds one that's in his hand, acting like I didn't just see him put a bunch of shit in his pocket. And I'm like, "Okay, sir, I need you to give all of that back to me right now and leave the store." And he's just like, "No." And he starts walking towards the door. So I go to block the door. Hang on 1 second. There's people over on that wall over there, so I'm gonna finish over here. So I go to block the door, and he keeps walking, and he tries to push me. And today is not my day. Today is a super high pain day, difficulty moving, everything hurts sort of thing, and my muscles are all really stiff and tight, and I'm not very strong, and it was very frustrating. I was like, if he had tried to do this last week, I might have been able to push him back, but I couldn't. So as I realize he's going to successfully push me out of the way, as he keeps just kind of barreling through the entrance as I'm blocking it with my hands like this, I reach around and I reach into his pockets, both of them. He had stuff in all of his pockets. I reached into all of his pockets, grabbed everything except for the one that he had in his hand. I grabbed everything out of his pockets, and then he just pushes past me and walks down the street. And I'm like, "Sir, what the hell?" And he's just like, and he keeps walking. So then I have to call the police. I hate calling the police. This is number 4. This is time number 4 that I've actually had to call them since I started working here 4 months ago. This is ridiculous. So I called the police because this man has been trespassed. He's banned from the store. He's not supposed to come in, and he shoplifts every single time that he comes in. So normally, if someone steals like a beer or something, I won't call the police, but I'll make a note of it and I'll tell my manager and be like, hey, this happened at this time. She'll look it up on the cameras and then send everyone the photo so we know not to let that person back in. But in this case, we all know who he is. He is a serial shoplifter. I have to make a police report. So I did. I called the police. They come. Fortunately, they didn't send the whole squad this time. It was just one car. That was all that was needed, really. And I gave him the description, and he knew immediately who this guy was. He's like, yeah, I recognized him from your description. And I showed him the photo as well that I had from the group text. I was like, it was this guy, even though he's got a bandage on his head right now. And he's like, yeah, I was just at the hospital talking to him. And in my head, I'm wondering, did this man piss somebody off? So they pushed him back, and maybe that's where this injury came from? And was it deserved? I feel like it probably was, because this guy always acts like this. Everyone else who has encountered him has said this man is just a piece of shit, and he just comes in and ignores you when you try to talk to him and just barrels through and acts like he can do whatever the fuck he wants. So I am not surprised if somebody beat him up, to be totally honest with you, and I don't feel bad. I don't know if they're gonna find him. I don't know where he went. But that's my Thursday. Happy fucking Thursday. Goodbye.